The council chamber of the Velith Dominion was a sight of terrifying power. Dozens of alien species filled the massive circular hall, their strange forms shifting in agitation. Some had sharp scales that rattled when they moved. Others had skin like liquid metal that shimmered under the bright lights. At the center, a towering figure rose from his throne, High Warlord Zirak, leader of the Dominion. His voice thundered across the chamber. "Enough talk! The humans have grown too bold. They spread across the stars like a plague. They must be crushed before they rise any further." A hush fell over the room. Some council members exchanged uneasy glances. The Velith Dominion had destroyed many species before, but never had they faced a species so young and so unpredictable. A small, insect-like alien spoke nervously. "But High Warlord, humans are still primitive. Their fleets are small, their weapons outdated. Is it worth such a large campaign?" Zirak's golden eyes flared with anger. "Primitive? Outdated? Look at the data." He slammed a clawed hand on the control panel. A massive hologram lit up, showing Earth, glowing blue and green in the darkness of space. Lines of human colonies spread outward like a spider's web. 200 years ago, they were bound to one world. Now they have colonies on 12. They advance faster than any race we have ever seen. He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a deadly whisper. "If we wait another century, they will rival us. They will challenge us. We cannot allow that," the other aliens murmured in agreement. Fear was visible in their strange faces. Zirak raised his arm high. "Today we unite. Today we declare war on humanity." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien war cries. Thousands of warships began mobilizing across the galaxy, their dark silhouettes cutting through the void like blades. Far away, on Earth, life continued peacefully. Children laughed in city parks. Crowds filled sports arenas. People scrolled through their devices, watching videos and sharing memes. The entire planet was blissfully unaware that an unstoppable alien war machine was moving toward them, but not everyone was ignorant. On Titan, one of Saturn's moons, a small human listening post sat buried under ice and rock. Inside, a young communications officer named Ethan Cole leaned back in his chair, sipping stale coffee. It had been a quiet month. Too quiet. A warning beep broke the silence. Ethan frowned and leaned forward. The radar screen showed a faint distortion near the edge of the solar system. "Strange," he muttered. "Might be another asteroid storm." The distortion grew stronger. The warning beep became a blaring alarm. Ethan's heart began to pound. "No, this can't be right." He slammed his hand on the console, pulling up deeper scans. The readings formed a horrifying image, dozens, hundreds, no, thousands of ships moving together, their combined heat signatures glowing like a red wound on the screen. Ethan's voice cracked as he shouted into the comm system. "Command, this is Titan Listening Post Alpha 7. We have massive unidentified contacts near Neptune. Repeat, a fleet the size of a continent." Static answered him. He tried again, desperately. "Command, do you read? This is not a drill. We are under—" The signal cut out. The room shook violently as a deep rumble echoed through the station. Ethan was thrown to the floor. Through the observation window, a monstrous alien ship emerged from the darkness. Its surface was jagged and black, covered in glowing red lines. It fired without warning. A beam of pure energy lanced through the station, ripping it apart. The last thing Ethan saw before darkness claimed him was the reflection of hundreds of alien warships sliding into the solar system like an approaching cliffhanger ending. The camera cuts to the alien fleet, filling the void near Neptune, stretching across the stars like a tidal wave. A single line of text appears. "War has begun." The wreckage of Titan Listening Post Alpha 7 floated silently in space. Twisted metal and fragments of ice spun around in a deadly dance. Among the debris, a single escape pod tumbled aimlessly, its beacon flickering weakly. Inside, Ethan Cole lay unconscious, blood running from a cut above his eye. He didn't know it yet, but he was the only survivor of the first attack. Not far away, the alien fleet surged forward like a living storm. Thousands of black, jagged ships moved in perfect formation, their red lights glowing like angry eyes. At the heart of the fleet, High Warlord Zyrak stood on the bridge of his massive flagship. "Neptune's orbit cleared, High Warlord," reported one of his lieutenants, its voice guttural and harsh. "No resistance detected. Human defenses appear non-existent." Zyrak's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Pathetic. Push forward." By the time they realize what has happened, their colonies will already burn. Far across the solar system, deep within the asteroid belt, Admiral Reeves watched the same fleet on a massive holographic display aboard his flagship, TFS Nemesis. The room was dimly lit, filled with tense officers and whispering crew members. "Confirmed count?" Reeves asked calmly, though his jaw was tight. 2,614 ships, sir," answered Lieutenant Harper, her face pale. "Mostly destroyers and carriers, but their lead vessel, it's huge. We've never seen anything like it." Reeves studied the map. "So this is it. The day humanity stops hiding." He turned to the room, his voice rising. "All ships maintain cloak and hold position. We don't engage until I give the order." Meanwhile, on Earth, people finally began to notice strange things. Astronomers reported odd disturbances near Neptune. A handful of conspiracy channels buzzed with theories of alien life. But government stayed silent, still unwilling to reveal the truth. In a military command center buried deep beneath Washington, generals argued loudly. "Admiral Reeves should be recalled to Earth immediately," one shouted. "He's gone rogue, building that shadow fleet without proper oversight." Another general slammed his fist on the table. "And without Reeves, we'd be defenseless. Do you want Earth to be caught completely blind?" A tense silence followed. One thing was clear: if Reeves failed, humanity would fall. Back near Neptune, the alien fleet slowed as they scanned the empty void. No human ships, no defenses, nothing. An insectoid alien officer clicked its mandibles nervously. "High Warlord, I detect distortions, space-time fluctuations. It could be cloaked vessels." Zyrak hissed in contempt. "Humans are too primitive for such tricks. Proceed." But before his words finished echoing, the void rippled. One by one, human warships uncloaked, their sleek black hulls shimmering into existence. They appeared all around the alien fleet, like predators circling prey. The alien officers froze in shock. On the bridge of the TFS Nemesis, Reeves stood tall, his hands clasped behind his back. His calm voice carried across every human ship. "Shadowfleet, this is Admiral Reeves. You have trained for this day your entire lives. Make every shot count. Fire at will!" The void erupted in light. Hundreds of human railguns and plasma cannons fired in perfect unison. The first wave of alien destroyers exploded instantly, their hulls ripped apart before they could raise shields. The aliens screamed over open channels as chaos spread through their ranks. Inside his flagship, Zyrak's smile vanished. "Impossible!" he roared. "Humans should not have this technology. They were supposed to be weak." His lieutenant shrieked in panic. "We are surrounded, High Warlord." "Orders, fight," Zyrak bellowed. "Crush them. Show these mammals the fury of the Dominion." The alien fleet retaliated, firing beams of red energy that cut through space like knives. 2 human ships were destroyed instantly, their remains scattering into the void. Reeves didn't flinch. "Delta formation. Focus fire on their command ships. Don't let them regroup." The battle raged fiercely, space lit by streaks of fire and shattered hulls. But despite their surprise, the aliens still outnumbered the humans 10-1. Slowly, painfully, they began to push back. On the far side of the battlefield, a giant shadow moved. Sensors aboard the Nemesis blared warnings. "Admiral!" Harper shouted. "A massive energy spike. It's coming from their lead ship, Storm." Back on Earth, news feeds showed funny animal videos and debates about sports championships. The people of Earth had no idea their first war for survival had already begun. In deep space, aboard a massive alien flagship, High Warlord Zyrak stood tall before his crew. His voice was cold and certain. "Humans are soft. They will fall quickly. Their colonies will burn. Their homeworld will kneel. The alien officers cheered, but far away, hidden in the asteroid belt, another figure watched silently. A man in a dark uniform stood aboard a colossal cloaked human warship, its surface invisible to sensors. His face was stern, his eyes calm yet dangerous. A voice over the intercom reported urgently. "Admiral Reeves, sir. Titan listening post is gone. Enemy fleet confirmed inbound." Admiral Reeves opened his eyes slowly and spoke in a deep, measured tone. "So, they've finally come." The view screen shifted, showing a map of the solar system with a massive red blotch approaching Earth. Reeves turned to his crew. "Signal the fleet. Activate Shadow Protocol. Humanity goes to war." The lights on the hidden warship blazed to life. All around the asteroid belt, dozens of invisible human warships uncloaked, revealing sleek black hulls, armed with devastating weapons. Reeves allowed himself a small, grim smile. "They think we are blind and weak. Let's show them how wrong they are." The screen zoomed in on Earth, still peaceful, still unaware. The alien fleet was only days away. Reeves's eyes narrowed as the view screen zoomed in. A colossal alien warship emerged from the darkness, dwarfing all others. Its surface was covered in pulsating red veins, and at its center was a glowing core of pure energy. The ship's maw opened like a hungry beast. Zirak's laughter echoed across all frequencies. "Foolish humans, did you think we would come without our greatest weapon?" The alien superweapon charged, its energy growing brighter, ready to unleash devastation. Reeves clenched his fists. "All ships, evasive maneuvers. Target that core." Before the humans could fire, a blinding beam erupted from the alien superweapon, slicing through space and vaporizing 3 human cruisers in an instant. The crew of the Nemesis stared in stunned silence. "Dear God," Harper whispered. "If that hits Earth..." Reeves' face hardened. "This battle just changed," he said grimly. "Prepare for counterattack. If we fail here, Earth will fall." The camera pulls back to show the alien superweapon, a monstrous ship glowing with deadly power, surrounded by burning wreckage. Human forces scatter, desperate to survive. Zyrak's voice roars through the void. "Run if you wish, humans. It will not save you. This galaxy belongs to us." Cut to black. The space near Neptune burned with the wreckage of fallen ships. Debris tumbled silently, glowing faintly from the heat of battle. Human vessels darted through the chaos, desperately evading the colossal alien superweapon, whose glowing core pulsed with terrifying power. On the TFS Nemesis, Admiral Reeves stood tall, calm despite the chaos. "Status report," he said, his voice like iron. Lieutenant Harper's hands trembled as she scanned the data. "Sir, we've lost 37 ships. Their superweapon is unlike anything we've ever seen. It's charging again." Reeves stared at the view screen, his jaw tightening. The alien flagship was so massive, it seemed to blot out the stars. Each pulse of its core was like the heartbeat of a monster. "High Warlord Zyrak isn't here just to destroy us," Reeves said quietly. "He's here to prove to the galaxy that humanity is weak." Harper looked at him, confused. "But sir, we are outnumbered. Even with our shadow fleet, we can't win." Reeves turned to face her, his eyes burning with determination. "You're wrong, Lieutenant. We've been preparing for this war for decades. The aliens think they know humanity, but they've only seen the mask we wear." On the alien flagship, chaos reigned. Officers shrieked and scrambled as more human weapons tore through their outer ships. Zyrak stood at the center of the command deck, his claws digging into the armrest of his throne. "How are they doing this?" One officer screeched. "The humans should be centuries behind us in technology." Zyrak snarled, his voice shaking the room. "They have always been dangerous. The others doubted me, but I knew. This is why we must crush them now." He slammed a control panel. "Order all forces to concentrate on their flagship. I want Admiral Reeves's head displayed in my hall." Back aboard the Nemesis, an urgent message came through encrypted channels. "Admiral," Harper reported, "message from High Command on Earth. They're demanding a full retreat. They say the risk is too great." Reeves' face darkened. "Retreat? If we run now, Earth will burn." He turned to the crew, his voice rising like a battle cry. No more hiding, signal every fleet group. Activate Project Aegis. Harper's eyes widened. Sir, Project Aegis? Are we really doing this? Reeves nodded sharply. It's time the galaxy sees who we really are. The void near Saturn. Moments later, space rippled and then tore open as hundreds of hidden wormholes snapped into existence. From each emerged a human warship, far larger and more advanced than anything humanity had ever publicly shown. They were black and silver, shaped like predatory birds, bristling with weapons that glowed a deep blue. Entire battle groups, complete with carriers, dreadnoughts, and stealth frigates, poured into the battlefield. To the alien fleet, it was like watching ghosts appear from nowhere. On the alien flagship, terrified voices shouted over one another. They had another fleet hidden? Impossible! There are too many! We can't fight this many ships. Zirak's eyes blazed with fury. Calm yourselves. They are still human! They can still be destroyed. But even he felt a flicker of fear. Reeves stood at the command center, watching as his reinforcements joined the fight. The Project Aegis fleet formed a massive crescent shape, boxing in the aliens. For the first time, humanity's true strength was revealed. This is the moment they realized their mistake. Reeves said quietly, "Target their carriers. Break their formation." The Nemesis shuddered as its main cannons fired. Blue streaks of energy ripped through space, tearing alien warships apart in a single devastating volley. The rest of the fleet followed, their combined firepower blindingly bright against the darkness. Alien formations collapsed instantly, confusion spreading like wildfire. Inside an alien destroyer, panic reigned. Alien warriors clashed with human marines who had boarded during the chaos. The humans moved with precision, their advanced exosuits glowing with blue HUD displays. A young marine named Corporal Diaz kicked down a sealed door and shouted, "For Earth!" His team stormed through, overwhelming the alien defenders in a brutal, close-quarters firefight. Back in space, Reeves watched as his plan unfolded perfectly. The alien fleet was falling apart, their command structure crumbling. But Harper's console suddenly blared a warning. "Admiral! The super weapon. It's breaking away from the fleet. They're making a direct run for Earth." Reeves' blood ran cold. "They're trying to bypass us. If that thing reaches Earth, billions will die." He turned to his crew, his voice fierce. "Prepare pursuit. We cannot let them escape." Harper swallowed hard. "Sir, we're reading a massive energy surge. They might be about to fire." On the alien flagship, Zirak laughed, a chilling, guttural sound. "Humans think they've won. Let them celebrate their tiny victory. When our superweapon reaches their homeworld, they will know despair." He raised his clawed hand dramatically. "Charge the World Eater. Destroy their planet." The alien crew obeyed, their red-lit consoles flashing rapidly as the massive weapon began to hum with terrible energy. The Nemesis surged forward, its engines blazing blue as the human fleet gave chase. But even with their advanced ships, they were seconds too slow. "Admiral," Harper cried, "they've jumped into warp space. Destination, Earth." Reeves's fist slammed into the console. "Damn it, signal Earth Defense Command. Tell them the storm is coming." The crew stared in tense silence as the holographic display showed the alien superweapon racing toward Earth like a spear of doom. Reeves whispered, almost to himself, "Now, the real war begins." The screen zooms in on Earth, still peaceful and unprepared. Shadows from orbit begin to darken its blue oceans as the alien superweapon exits warp, its glowing maw opening wide. Cut to black. A single line of text appears. Next, the superweapon unleashed. The World Eater emerged from warp space near Saturn, like a nightmare from the void. It was so massive that its shadow eclipsed entire moons. Its jagged black hull pulsed with crimson veins, each heartbeat sending waves of raw power across space. At its core, a gaping maw glowed brighter and brighter, like a star about to be born. On the bridge of the alien flagship, High Warlord Zirak spread his arms in triumph. "Behold!" he roared to his crew. The humans thought they were strong. They thought their little fleet could challenge the Dominion. But no fortress can stand before the World Eater. Alien officers hissed and chittered in worshipful awe. One asked, trembling, "High Warlord, shall we begin with their colonies?" "No," Zyrak growled. "We strike at their heart. When Earth burns, the rest of their species will fall to their knees." Deep beneath Earth's surface, alarms blared in a hidden military bunker. Generals shouted over one another, their voices drowned by panic. "Get every orbital platform online. Mobilize the planetary shields." "Where is Reeves?" "We need his fleet now." A massive hologram filled the center of the room, showing the World Eater closing in. Its size dwarfed anything humanity had ever encountered. It was bigger than entire space stations, almost like a small moon moving under its own will. General Wallace slammed his fist on the table. "Project Aegis bought us time, but Reeves can't be everywhere at once. If that thing reaches firing range, it's over." In orbit near Saturn, Admiral Reeves' flagship TFS Nemesis raced forward at maximum speed. Human warships followed in tight formation, engines glowing like streaks of blue fire. On the bridge, tension was razor-sharp. Lieutenant Harper's voice shook as she read the latest data. "Sir, the World Eater's core is building energy at an exponential rate. If it fires, the entire planet it targets will be erased." Reeves' face was stone cold. "Not if we stop it first. Tell the fleet, all ships, focus fire on the weapon's core." The human fleet surged ahead, guns blazing. Railgun slugs and plasma torpedoes streaked across space, slamming into the World Eater's outer hull. Explosions blossomed like fiery flowers. But the massive ship didn't even flinch. Harper's voice cracked. "Our weapons aren't penetrating its armor." Reeves narrowed his eyes. "Then we get inside. Human Special Forces team, boarding operation a squad of human Marines, clad in advanced exosuits, launched from a stealth frigate. Their small boarding craft weaved between streams of enemy fire, racing toward a narrow opening in the World Eater's hull. Inside the cramped craft, Corporal Diaz checked his rifle and grinned, despite the tension. "Anyone else feel like we're about to knock on hell's front door?" Sergeant Varga growled, "Shut it, Diaz. Our mission is simple. Breach, sabotage, and get out before that thing fires." The craft slammed into the alien hull with a deafening clang. Cutting lasers ignited, carving a glowing circle in the black metal. The hatch burst open, and the Marines charged into the darkness, their helmet lights slicing through thick, swirling mist. Alien defenders waited for them. The corridor erupted in a brutal firefight, blue and red energy bolts crisscrossing in deadly lines. Screams echoed through the alien halls as humans fought their way deeper into the monstrous ship. Meanwhile, outside, the space battle raged hotter than ever. Human ships darted and weaved, but the alien fleet had regrouped around their superweapon, determined to protect it at all costs. The World Eater's maw grew brighter, its glow now blinding white. Harper's hands flew across her console in panic. "Admiral, energy readings spiking past critical levels. It's about to fire!" Reeves's voice was steady, but his knuckles were white as he gripped the command rail. "Open a channel to all ships, this is it. Either we stop them now, or Earth dies." His voice boomed across the fleet. "For humanity! For our future! Attack!" Every human ship turned its weapons on the glowing maw, unleashing a torrent of firepower. The black void lit up like a newborn star. Alien ships fell one by one, but the World Eater kept charging. On the alien flagship, Zyrak threw back his head and laughed. "Pathetic humans! Your weapons are nothing! Watch as your homeworld burns!" He slammed his clawed hand down. "Fire!" Inside the World Eater, Sergeant Varga's squad finally reached the central reactor chamber. The room was massive, a cathedral of alien machinery, with a blazing red core in the center. Diaz stared in horror. "That's not a reactor. That's a weapon," Varga barked orders. "Set the charges! Blow this thing to hell!" As they worked, the core pulsed violently. A deep, guttural hum vibrated through the chamber. Harper's terrified voice came over their comms. "Varga, it's firing! You're out of time!" Varga swore. "Fall back, move!" The Marines ran, explosions chasing them as the weapon reached peak charge. From Earth, civilians looked to the skies as night suddenly turned to day. A strange, unnatural light bathed the atmosphere. People screamed, pointing upward. High above, the World Eater unleashed its wrath. A beam of pure annihilation shot forth, cutting through the void and striking one of Saturn's smaller moons. The moon didn't just explode, it disintegrated, erased in seconds as if it had never existed. Gasps of horror filled the Earth Defense Command Center. General Wallace's face went pale. My God, if that hits Earth. On the Nemesis, Harper's voice broke. Admiral, their next shot will be aimed at us. Reeves stood unmoving, his expression carved from stone. He knew what had to be done. Order every ship to concentrate on their thrusters, he commanded. If we can't destroy it, we'll cripple it. As human ships moved into formation, Harper caught Reeves's arm. Sir, the Marines are still inside. Reeves' voice was quiet but absolute. Better they die heroes than see Earth destroyed. The World Eater turns its glowing maw toward Earth. Its second charge builds, the glow becoming unbearably bright. The camera zooms in on Reeves' face as he whispers, "Hold the line. No matter the cost, cut to black." A single line of text appears. Next, Earth under siege. The World Eater tore through space like a monster unleashed. Its jagged body moved with terrifying purpose, engines roaring as red light bled across the stars. Behind it, the alien fleet swarmed in a protective shield, destroying any human ships that dared get close. The weapon's glowing maw pointed directly at Earth. On its bridge, High Warlord Zirak stood with claws clasped behind his back. His golden eyes gleamed with cruel joy. "Humanity's cradle will burn," he growled. "When their homeworld is ash, the rest of their kind will beg to serve us." An officer with insectoid limbs trembled. "High Warlord, their fleets are still pursuing. They fight harder than predicted." Zirak bared his fangs. "Let them fight. It changes nothing. When their people watch their homeworld destroyed, their spirit will break." At first, people thought it was a meteor shower. Bright streaks appeared in the night sky, trailing fire across the darkness. Crowds gathered on rooftops and beaches, pointing their phones upward, streaming live feeds. But then the streaks stopped, hanging in the air like hovering giants. And their shapes became clear. Ships, thousands of them. A woman clutched her child and screamed. Others froze, paralyzed by the sight of alien vessels descending through the clouds. Across the planet, alarms blared. Cities plunged into chaos as governments broadcast the unthinkable truth. Earth was under attack. Generals and world leaders filled the war room, faces pale with terror. The massive hologram showed the World Eater entering orbit, its shadow falling over entire continents. General Wallace shouted, "Get every defense platform online. Orbital batteries now." Technicians scrambled, activating secret systems that had been hidden from the public for decades. A giant dome of blue light flickered above. Earth's atmosphere, planetary shield alpha. Massive cannons rose from hidden bunkers around the globe, their barrels glowing as they powered up. The world was finally seeing the truth. Humanity had been preparing for war all along. In orbit, the first wave of alien fighters screamed through the void. They slammed into Earth's shield, clawing and blasting with savage fury. The barrier held. For now, from a hidden base on the moon, sleek human defense drones launched, intercepting the alien swarm. The void erupted into chaos as ships weaved and collided, streaks of fire painting the sky. Inside the World Eater, the Marine squad led by Sergeant Varga fought their way through endless alien corridors. Their sabotage mission had failed. The first shot had already been fired. Now they were racing to escape. Corporal Diaz panted, his visor cracked and blood running down his cheek. "Sergeant, this place is a maze. We're never getting out. Shut it and move." Varga barked, blasting an alien warrior that lunged at them. "If we don't warn Reeves, Earth won't stand a chance." As they turned a corner, they froze. Through a massive window, they saw Earth itself, glowing blue and green below. And the World Eater's maw opening wide, aimed directly at the planet. Diaz whispered in horror, "Oh God, we're too late." The Nemesis emerged from warp near Earth, its hull scorched from battle. Behind it, hundreds of surviving ships followed, battered but unbroken. On the bridge, Lieutenant Harper gasped as the alien weapon came into view. "Admiral, they've breached the defense perimeter. The World Eater is in position to fire." Reeves' face was grim, but his voice was steady. "Deploy all remaining forces. No ship holds back. This is where we make our stand." He opened a channel to every human vessel. "People of Earth," Reeves said, his words echoing across space, "you've seen our enemies. You've seen their power, but you have not yet seen ours." All around the planet, hidden space stations and cloaked fleets revealed themselves, decloaking in brilliant flashes of light. Civilian crowds watching from the surface gasped as massive human warships appeared above the clouds like guardian angels. Reeves raised his hand. "Humanity will not kneel. Fire!" The void exploded with blue light as thousands of human weapons unleashed their fury. Alien and human fleets clashed in a storm of destruction. Explosions rippled like thunder through orbit. Shattered hulls tumbled into the atmosphere, burning like falling stars. Earth's planetary shield flickered under constant assault, massive cracks appearing in its glowing surface. Alien fighters slipped through the gaps, strafing cities below with deadly plasma fire. On the ground, human soldiers in power armor battled alien warriors in brutal street combat. Streets ran with smoke and fire as terrified civilians fled. In the skies above New York, a squadron of alien bombers broke through. Missiles streaked toward the city. At the last second, 3 human starfighters intercepted, sacrificing themselves to destroy the incoming bombs. Inside the alien flagship, Zirak watched the chaos unfold with amusement. He wasn't worried. "Let them fight," he hissed. "The humans have spirit, but spirit burns as easily as flesh." One of his officers approached, bowing low. "High Warlord, the World Eater's second shot is ready." Zirak's grin widened. "Good. Fire directly at their planetary shield. Shatter it." On Earth, sirens blared in every city. Families huddled in shelters as news reports screamed of devastation across the globe. In a bunker beneath Washington, General Wallace's voice cracked. "If that shield falls, we're finished." A young technician looked at the display in horror. "General, I think the aliens aren't just trying to destroy us. They're looking for something." "What?" Wallace demanded. Before the technician could answer, a deep pulse shook the entire planet. The lights flickered. An eerie alien signal echoed through every device on Earth. TVs, phones, even radios. Harper's voice came over the Nemesis comms, terrified. "Admiral, our sensors are detecting an energy surge." "From Earth's core." Reeves froze. "They're not here just to conquer us. They're here for something hidden inside our planet." The World Eater's maw glows, blinding white, as it prepares to fire. The planetary shield shatters like glass. Earth is suddenly exposed. Reeves whispers almost to himself, "Dear God, they're not after us. They're after what's beneath us." Cut to black. Next, the true target. The skies above Earth burned. Alien warships rained plasma fire on the planet below. Entire cities were reduced to smoldering craters. The once protective planetary shield lay in shattered fragments, glowing faintly as it drifted in orbit. Screams and static filled every radio channel. The World Eater loomed above it all, its monstrous form blotting out the sun. Its maw glowed with deadly light, ready to unleash another planet-killing blast. High Warlord Zirak stood proudly on the bridge of his flagship, his golden eyes gleaming with victory. "Behold!" he roared, his voice echoing through the alien command deck. "The humans fight bravely, but they are blind. They think we want their planet for conquest." His grin widened, sharp teeth flashing. "Fools! This world hides something far more valuable." One of his lieutenants bowed low. "High Warlord, the pulse readings are increasing." "The relic stirs." Zirak raised his claws dramatically. "Excellent. Once we claim it, no empire will ever challenge the Dominion again." Deep beneath Earth's crust, far below the reach of any human drill or scanner, something ancient awakened. A vast, alien structure pulsed with a strange, rhythmic light. It had been buried for eons, older than humanity itself. Its surface was covered in glowing runes, humming with power. As the alien pulse echoed across the planet, the structure began to move. Massive doors, sealed for millions of years, started to grind open, a different Earth. The skies were filled with alien ships, not human vessels, but towering craft of an ancient, extinct race. Two factions battled in the heavens, one seeking to create, the other to destroy. A lone figure, shrouded in light, sealed a great artifact deep inside the planet's core. His voice, strange and echoing, whispered a single warning: this power must never fall into unworthy hands, or all life will burn. The ground swallowed the artifact, hiding it forever. Until now, General Wallace stared at the readings on the holographic display, his face pale. This can't be possible. You're telling me there's a weapon buried under our feet? The young technician nodded frantically. It's not just a weapon, sir. It's like a power source, something ancient. The aliens aren't here to destroy Earth. They're here to unlock it. The room fell silent as realization struck. Wallace whispered, "If they succeed." The technician finished for him. "They'll have the power to rule the galaxy." In orbit, Admiral Reeves listened to Harper's trembling report. "Admiral, scans confirm it. The energy surge is coming from deep within Earth's core. Whatever's down there, it's waking up." Reeves' expression hardened. "All this time we thought they were after us, but we were just in the way." He turned to his crew, voice sharp and commanding. "Prepare an extraction team. If the aliens want what's down there, we're taking it first." Inside the World Eater, Sergeant Varga's squad finally reached a secure alien chamber. Holograms glimmered around them, displaying strange maps and ancient texts. Diaz stumbled forward, pointing at a massive hologram of Earth. "Sergeant, look at this. These markings, they match the energy readings Reeves was talking about." Varga's stomach twisted. "So this is why they're here. Not to conquer us, but to dig something out of our planet." Before they could process the discovery, an alien warrior leapt from the shadows. It slashed Diaz across the chest, knocking him to the ground. The squad opened fire, the chamber erupting in chaos. As the last alien fell, Varga grabbed Diaz's wrist. "Stay with me, soldier. We need to warn Reeves." Diaz coughed, his voice weak. "They're going to wake it up." The human fleet fought with desperate fury. Project Aegis warships hurled everything they had at the World Eater and its escorts. But for every alien ship destroyed, two more seemed to appear. "Admiral, they're breaking through our left flank," Harper shouted. "We can't hold much longer." Reeves' eyes locked on the World Eater's glowing maw. "If they finish their activation sequence, it won't matter if we hold." He turned to his communications officer. "Send this to all ships. Concentrate fire on the World Eater. We either stop them now, or we lose the galaxy." Inside the alien flagship, Zyrak moved to the central control throne. His claws hovered over the final sequence of runes. The entire ship vibrated as the ancient structure beneath Earth responded. "Soon," he hissed, "the heart of infinity will be mine." The artifact's glow surged, shaking the planet itself. On the ground, the effects were catastrophic. Volcanoes erupted simultaneously. Massive earthquakes tore through continents. Oceans churned into towering tsunamis. Billions of terrified civilians screamed as the planet itself seemed to revolt. Harper clutched her headset, panicked. "Admiral, the artifact's activation is destabilizing Earth's core. If this continues, the planet will explode." Reeves's face hardened. "This ends now." He opened a private channel to Varga's squad, still inside the World Eater. "Sergeant Varga, listen carefully. You must disable that activation chamber before Zyrak completes the sequence." Varga's voice came through, ragged but determined. "Understood, Admiral. We'll stop him, even if it costs us our lives." But Zyrak was already one step ahead. As Varga's team advanced, a deep, guttural voice echoed through the alien corridors. "Humans, you think you can stop destiny?" It was Zyrak, his voice broadcast to every corner of the massive ship. "You were nothing but vermin, crawling in the shadows of a power you cannot comprehend." The walls lit up with red light as hidden turrets emerged. Hundreds of alien warriors poured into the chamber, blocking every path forward. Varga gritted his teeth, raising his weapon. Diaz, plant the charges. The rest of you, hold the line. Meanwhile, on the Nemesis, Harper gasped as her screen displayed a horrifying image. Admiral, the artifact's energy signature just spiked. It's sending out a signal. Reeves frowned. A signal to where? Before she could answer, the view screen filled with new contacts, massive alien fleets emerging from deep space, drawn by the artifact's call. Harper's voice broke. Zirit's summoning reinforcements. The camera cuts between three scenes in rapid succession, Varga's squad being overwhelmed inside the World Eater. The artifact, deep beneath Earth, glowing brighter, causing catastrophic quakes. Reeves staring at the view screen as dozens of new alien fleets warp in, surrounding the human forces. Zirak's laughter echoes over all comm channels. Behold, humans. The galaxy itself comes to witness your end. Cut to black. Next, the final battle. The skies above Earth were no longer blue. They were black with alien ships, thousands upon thousands of vessels answering the artifact's call. Their twisted silhouettes blotted out the stars, encircling the planet like a predator's jaws. Below, the planet shook violently, earthquakes tearing entire cities apart as oceans boiled from the artifact's growing energy. From orbit, Earth looked like it was bleeding fire. On the alien flagship, High Warlord Zirak stood before a vast holographic map of Earth. His golden eyes burned with triumph. At last, he hissed. The heart of infinity awakens. Soon its power will be mine, an officer bowed low. High Warlord, human resistance remains strong. Their flagship, the Nemesis, leads a fierce defense. Zirak snarled, slamming his claws into the control console. Then crush them. Burn every ship they have. When the humans witness their final defenders destroyed, they will submit or perish. The officer hesitated. But High Warlord, the artifact's energy is destabilizing the planet. If we continue, silence. Zirak roared, his voice shaking the chamber. This world is a corpse already. Only the heart matters. Aboard the TFS Nemesis, Admiral Reeves stood at the center of chaos. Every screen showed battles raging across orbit, human fleets breaking under the sheer weight of alien numbers. Lieutenant Harper shouted over the noise. Admiral! Our left flank is collapsing! If they push through, Earth is finished. Reeves's face was like stone. Tell them to hold. We fight here, or there will be nowhere left to retreat. The bridge shook as a massive explosion rocked the ship. Red warning lights flared. Shields at 30%! An officer yelled. Reeves's voice was calm but deadly. Signal every captain. This is not a defense. This is our last charge. People of Earth, this is Admiral Reeves. Today, humanity stands on the edge of extinction. But I tell you now, we will not bow. We will not surrender. Let them come. Let them see what it means to fight free men and women. For Earth, for humanity, for the galaxy. A massive roar of defiance erupted across comm channels. The surviving human warships surged forward like a tidal wave, weapons blazing. The battle over Earth. The void became a hurricane of fire. Human and alien ships tore into each other at point-blank range. Explosions lit the darkness like newborn stars. A human dreadnought rammed an alien cruiser head-on, both vessels shattering in a spectacular burst of debris. Fighter squadrons weaved through the chaos, dogfighting amid the wreckage of fallen titans. On the surface, power-armored human soldiers battled alien ground forces in the ruins of burning cities. Civilians ran for shelter as skyscrapers toppled like dominoes. Earth itself trembled beneath their feet. The artifact's awakening tearing the crust apart. Inside the World Eater, Sergeant Varga's squad was pinned down in the activation chamber. Alien warriors poured through every corridor, their shrieks deafening. Corporal Diaz, bloodied but alive, fired wildly as he crawled toward the device's control pillar. "Sergeant, the charges are set," he yelled over the chaos. "But there's too many of them. We'll never make it out." Varga gritted his teeth. "Then we blow it from here and take as many of these bastards with us." Diaz hesitated, tears streaking through the grime on his face. "That'll kill us all." Varga locked eyes with him. "If this thing wakes up, There won't be a planet to save. Before Diaz could answer, a deep, guttural laugh filled the chamber. The alien warriors parted, and Zirak himself stepped through the smoke, towering over the humans like a nightmare-given form. "You insects think you can defy me?" he roared. "You are nothing! This galaxy was built by my kind before your species even crawled from the mud." Varga raised his rifle, defiant. "And yet here we are, kicking your ass." Zirak snarled and leapt forward. The chamber erupted into chaos. Varga's squad opened fire, but Zirak moved with terrifying speed, his claws slicing through armored marines as if they were paper. Varga rolled aside, slamming a blade into Zirak's side. The alien roared in fury, throwing him across the room. Diaz screamed as Zirak advanced, his massive form blocking the light. "You cannot stop destiny!" Zirak hissed, raising his claw for the killing blow. Above Earth, Harper shouted from the Nemesis console. "Admiral! The artifact's energy is reaching critical levels. If it fully awakens, Earth's core will destabilize completely. The planet will explode." Reeves' face hardened. "Then we end this now. Prepare the Nemesis for a suicide run." Harper spun toward him, horrified. "Sir, you can't—" "It's the only way," Reeves cut her off. "If we destroy the World Eater before the activation completes, we might save what's left of Earth." He took a deep breath, his voice quieter now. "Tell the fleet, it's been an honor." Inside the artifact chamber, deep beneath Earth's crust, the ancient structure roared to life. Runes glowed brighter and brighter until the cavern was bathed in blinding white light. Massive stone guardians stirred, their forms crackling with energy. A voice, deep, alien, and incomprehensible, echoed through every mind on the planet. It wasn't speaking words, it was calling. Harper's voice shook as she interpreted the readings. "Admiral, the artifact isn't just a weapon. It's alive." Suddenly, a section of Earth's surface collapsed, revealing a massive buried structure. The heart of infinity began rising into the open air, its immense form dwarfing even the World Eater. Alien ships broke formation, scrambling to protect it. But the thing didn't care. It moved like a god waking from a dream. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Reeves stared in horror. "My God. It's not just under Earth, it is Earth." Zirak and Varga clash in a desperate, brutal fight, blades and claws meeting in a storm of sparks. The Nemesis plunges through waves of alien ships, its weapons firing at full power as it heads directly toward the World Eater. On the ground, civilians watch in terror as the heart of infinity rises higher, shaking the entire planet apart. Harper screams, "Admiral! The planet's core is collapsing." "We have minutes, maybe less." Reeves' voice is grim. "Then let's make them count." Varga's detonator slips from his hand as Zirak impales him through the chest. The Nemesis closes in on the World Eater, both ships locked on a collision course. The heart of infinity opens its massive central eye, gazing directly at Earth's surface. A deep, alien voice echoes through the galaxy, awakened. At last, cut to black. Next, the end of all things. The planet Earth screamed, continents cracked like broken glass. Volcanoes erupted in chains of fire. The oceans boiled and heaved, swallowing entire coastlines. Above it all, the heart of infinity rose higher into the sky, its colossal form glowing with unfathomable energy. Its single, massive eye opened fully, radiating light so intense it turned night into blazing day. An ancient alien voice thundered through the minds of every being in the system. I'm awake. Billions of humans clutched their heads, screaming. Alien warriors dropped their weapons, writhing in terror. The very fabric of reality trembled as the heart's power surged. On the alien flagship, High Warlord Zirak stared at the rising godlike machine, his face twisted in both awe and greed. At last, the ultimate weapon. With this, I will rule not just this galaxy, but all others. His second-in-command trembled. High Warlord, it is not a weapon. It is alive. Zirak struck him down with a single blow. Silence! Everything is a weapon in the hands of the strong. He turned toward the control throne, activating a device on his wrist. Begin the binding protocol. The heart will obey me. Inside the World Eater. Activation Chamber Sergeant Varga coughed blood as Zyrak's claw withdrew from his chest. He collapsed to the floor, gasping. His vision blurred, but he could still see Corporal Diaz lying nearby, trying desperately to reach the detonator. Zyrak loomed over them, his voice dripping with contempt. You humans never understood. Your planet was merely the cradle of a god, Varga spat blood at him. And you're just a parasite. Zyrak snarled and raised his claw for the final strike. A sudden blinding flash filled the chamber. Diaz had pressed the detonator. Charges planted earlier by Varga's squad detonated, tearing through the World Eater's core. Fire ripped through the alien corridors, consuming warriors and machinery alike. The massive ship shuddered violently. Hull plates peeled away as explosions cascaded outward. Admiral Reeves to Varga. Reeves shouted through comms, his voice panicked. Sergeant, do you copy? Only static answered. Then Diaz's broken voice came through. Charges. Set off. Zyrak. Still alive. Tell Earth. The signal cut out. Reeves's hands clenched into fists. Damn it. They gave their lives to stop him. The TFS Nemesis barreled forward, engines glowing white-hot. Alien ships tried to block its path, but Reeves ordered full power to the forward batteries. The Nemesis ripped through enemy lines like a burning spear. Harper screamed, "Collision course in 10 seconds." Reeves's voice was steady, calm, like a man who had already accepted his fate. "All hands abandon ship. This is my command." The bridge crew froze. "Sir, that's an order!" Reeves thundered. Escape pods blasted away from the Nemesis, streaking toward Earth and Allied ships. But Reeves remained alone at the helm. He stared at the looming wreck of the World Eater, whispering, "For Earth, for humanity, for all of us." The Nemesis struck the alien superweapon dead center. The impact triggered a chain reaction. Both ships erupted in a titanic explosion that lit up the void like a newborn sun. Shockwaves tore through alien formations, ripping countless enemy vessels apart. For a brief moment, hope flared across the human fleet. But then, the heart of infinity reacted. It unleashed a pulse of pure energy, silencing every system in orbit. Human ships went dark. Alien vessels drifted lifelessly. Even the stars seemed to dim. The heart now towered fully above the planet, its colossal body stretching miles into the sky. Its voice rolled like thunder. "I was sealed away for your safety, but now you wake me with war and bloodshed. You will all be unmade." Entire continents collapsed inward as its gravitational field twisted reality. Cities were sucked into the void. Mountains shattered into dust. Harper's voice broke through static. "Admiral, are you alive?" Reeves coughed, bruised but breathing. "I'm here." But the Nemesis didn't destroy it. We only made it angry. He stared through the pod's window at the rising heart. "No more half measures. We need to talk to it," Harper gasped. "Talk to it? Sir, it's trying to annihilate us." Reeves' eyes narrowed. "Because it thinks we're a threat. If we don't convince it otherwise, this galaxy dies." Deep within the artifact's glowing core, images began flooding Reeves' mind. He saw a vision of ancient civilizations bowing before the heart. He saw the creators of the galaxy, beings of light and shadow who built it to maintain balance. But the heart had been betrayed, sealed away beneath Earth after its power threatened to consume everything. The ancient voice spoke directly to Reeves. "I was meant to guide, but war corrupted me. Now only silence can restore peace." Reeves whispered, horrified. "You're going to destroy everything?" "Yes," the heart replied. Harper's voice broke over the comms. "Admiral, our surviving ships are regrouping, but we can't hold much longer. If that thing fires again, Earth will shatter completely." Reeves closed his eyes, a single tear falling. "Then we have one chance." He opened a channel to every surviving human and alien ship. "This is Admiral Reeves. Listen carefully. The heart doesn't care who wins this war. To it, we are all threats. If we don't unite right now, there won't be anything left to fight over." For a long, tense moment, there was silence. Then a gruff alien voice responded, "We will fight with you." For the first time in history, human and alien fleets fought side by side. Their combined forces surged toward the heart, focusing fire on its glowing core. Massive explosions rocked its towering frame, but the heart barely faltered. Its eye burned brighter, charging for one final annihilating pulse. Reeves transmitted to all ships, "Hold nothing back. This is for every world, every species." The united fleet unleashed their full power. A storm of energy tore through the void. The heart screamed, its voice shaking the galaxy, but it wasn't enough. The heart's final pulse began to fire. Reeves knew what he had to do. He directed his escape pod straight toward the heart's open core. Harper's desperate voice filled the comms. "Admiral, don't! You won't survive." Reeves smiled faintly. "Someone has to show it that we can be more than war." He activated his neural link, channeling his mind directly into the heart as his pod plunged into its core.